Okay. So, how's it going, guys? I was asked to teach you or present to you guys um, Google Forms as a tool. So, we're going to quickly go over that. Um, the way you access Google Forms, you could, there's a couple of ways to do it, but you could go to your email, and this might be the easiest way for you guys to get there. Once you're logged into your email, you just click on this waffle up here, and you could select Google Forms because it should be preset there, and if it's not, there, then you could go to all apps and a list of applications that we have kind of preset come out and they're in alphabetical order and they should be here. All of them should be here. But Google Forms is right there. And then another way you might be able to access it is as soon as you log in to your email, you should kind of get this screen and then you go to Outlook. Instead of doing that, you could just go to Forms, which we'll do right now. And I kind of have a couple of forms already set up. And we could quickly go over how to create a form. And there's different ways that you can use this. You can create it as a form for like a survey, or you could even create a quiz. We can see right there. And it's essentially the same format. You just use it a little differently. So we're going to quickly create a form, and then we'll go over a previous form that I've already created. So once you're at this page, this is you actually setting it up. So if you want to set up, let's say it's for a classroom, or let's say it's do now, you could set up a do now. You can enter a description, and this could be whatever you'd like it to be, covering, and then etc. If it's a science class, it could be scientific terms or whatever the case is. And right here, all you're doing is you're adding what type of question you'd like it to be. If you'd like it to be, what's today's date, or when did you turn in this assignment? And make it a required question. Um, and let's say that's the next thing. It could be multiple choice, it could be text, and it could also be a rating system. So multiple choice. It could just be whatever question. Let's say it's what do you like most? And you can put whatever option you like: running, sleeping. Add another option: eating. Add another option, and then in this you could also select multiple answers. So it's just an option that you can have. So all you have to do is just click it. This is for one selection. This is for multiple selections. Make it a required question. Text is kind of just like an open-ended question. We've all kind of dealt with this where you have to respond something back. So write about a time. Write about a time when, and then whatever the rest of the prompt is, and it can respond there. You could allow it to be like as a long answer rather than just one sentence. Once again, you can make it required. And if you're not happy with whenever you're setting this up, you could always just delete it, or you can move it up in the slot, make it the first question rather than the second question the way it was, or you could also just move it back down. And on the last one, which is a rating system, about uh, do you like school? And the child will respond with, or it doesn't have to be a child, it could be in a meeting or for whatever the case may be, whatever you might use it for. And it's use the rating system. Um, and before you want to send it out or anything, you could always just preview it. This is what it would look like, and you could kind of walk through and answer the question and see how it's set up. It's kind of really user friendly to use. And you could always just change the theme. So if you want to change the colors on it, you can change the colors on it. If you want to make it a little more appealing to the eye, you could add these little backgrounds for the children. You could just mess with it a little bit. So we'll kind of go over one that I already had created. This was what I had set up for the presentation for you guys. This is probably what I'm going to send out to you guys. and you get a chance to kind of see what you can do with it. So kind of I had covered the question regarding, and we'll actually preview it. When did you see this training? And let's say that you see it tomorrow, then you click on the 8th, and let's say you think it's kind of informative. You type in whatever you'd like to type in here, and let's give it a 2-star. Let's submit. Let's go back, and you can see right here, I had already responded to this a little earlier, and now we're going to see a different response. So the average time to complete kind of takes the averages of both. It gives you the time, and the neat part about this is specifically on the multiple choice, because you're able to see, you get this little pie chart, and it lets you know who selects what. So before we cover that, if we just look at viewing results, I'll get to see who responded. So I responded to the first one, and these were my answers. So I did it on the 7th, applied yes, typed whatever I typed, and I gave it a 4-star. And if I look at the next person, it gives me their responses. So it's on the 8th, maybe, whatever I typed, 2-star. It took me 18 seconds on this one. It took me 15 seconds on this one. So this would be neat if you use it in a quiz, or if a teacher uses it in a quiz, because it allows each teacher to see what each child responded. And at the same time, let's say that the correct answer for this question, let's say it was a question for a math class, was A, and I see that there's like 13 kids that responded B, and 14 kids that responded C, and 2 kids that responded A. I'd be able to see which children are thinking what and why they're getting to this conclusion, maybe try to help them understand why it's not specifically this and why it is this. And speaking of that, with using it with children, the way it can be used, and the way that it is used whenever we send it out, it's used through a link. So I would have to just press copy, come back over here, create a new message, and if I want to send it to a group of students, we have access to that, so you send it to whatever student. So let's go with student. And it gives you a list of student names. And you'd get, like, let's say it's for a specific class, and you could set this up in Google Classroom if you like, and we could cover that later. It's okay, that comes to mind. I could select him and then a couple of other children and send it to them, or if it's for staff, specifically you guys. I could select all of you guys, and once I do select it, all I'd have to do is just paste it, and that form is already there, and I just have to send it. And once you guys would respond, I would just come back, and I'd be able to see your responses as soon as you respond. And each response gets an update, and I get to see what everyone selected. And something that could be paired well with this, and I had sent you guys an email earlier regarding student passwords. If we do manage to actually reset a bunch of kids' passwords and they do have access to it, it would be beneficial and useful for these children to be able to do these things more online, because as they advance to high school and college, they're going to be doing more online stuff than on paper stuff. So I had given an example of the Do Now. It would be good. You could save paper and allow children to interact a little bit more with technology. And that's about it. That pretty much covers Google Forms. So I'm going to send you this Google Form survey in a little while, and hopefully you guys respond and get to watch the video. And let me know if you have any questions or if anything was a little bit unclear, and I'll be happy to help out in whatever I can. All right, have a good day.